I think we're going to start here. We're just giving an introduction to yourself, a little bit of your background.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I'm Verskotzi. I go by Verskotzi. That's my last name. My name is Joey Verskotzi. I am a Minnesota native. So I was born and raised in a small town in Minnesota called New Ulm, Minnesota, and then actually I will tell the because this is a college radio station. I actually did go to Gustavus Adolphus for my first semester in my freshman year, and realized that St. Peter, I love it and I love the school, but it was just too small of a town. Being from a small town, I was like, I need to go to Minneapolis. And so in my second semester of my freshman year, I transferred to the U of M, and I'm a proud alumni of the U of M Minneapolis. So, but yeah, I'm a local Minnesotan, and Minneapolis was my hometown scene as a musician and an artist. I cut my teeth here for, a good seven years, and then and now I live in Los Angeles with my wife, and we've been in Los Angeles for about 7 years now, but back in town celebrating the release of my new album Shring that came out back in February, and I'm really honored to be at Radio K today because I truly listened to the station as a college student, and so this is awesome.
You got to play a couple of songs for us. I just like to ask you, what is the difference between playing the song with a full band and playing it acoustically like you just did for us?
Yeah, it's fun for me because I truly do start all my songs, and I know you and I were kind of talking before the interview, like it sounds like you've listened to the record and you kind of hear all the sounds, and on the album, I love using all kinds of crazy guitar pedals, fuzz pedals, and reversing things, chopping them, and having all kinds of fun in the studio with that. But truly, all of the songs on the album that you hear, and all my songs in general, I write on the acoustic guitar. Like I start there, and so it's always fun to bring it back. I call it back to basics, where it's just like I'm reminded where the journey of the song started. And so it's fun for me, especially after songs are recorded and released and put out in the public and then consumed by people, and they hear it that way. It's like, it's fun for me to bring it back, and people are always like, oh, it's so fun to hear that as an acoustic version. In my mind, I'm like, that's how I still think about it to this day. So I love bringing things to acoustic guitar because it just, I like to think if you can do it in a setting like this, it's like that just shows that you have a song that's intact, and then you can throw as much paint at the canvas as you want in the studio, basically.
Yeah. Obviously, you just released your album, Shring.
Yeah.
Said that right?
Shring.
Yes,
sir.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Can you tell us what the recording process for Shring was?
Yep.
And how that might differ from anything else you've ever done?
Yeah, so it was actually unique to me and the way that I've worked in the past. A lot of my recordings that I've released from the years 2017 until this album, I was doing mostly I do all the production, all the writing, all the mixing by myself, but most of it was just like in my studio in LA. But with this album, I had all 13 songs written on acoustic guitar, and then a good friend of mine who's also a Minneapolis native but lives in Nashville now, Isaac Burkhart. He's in Nashville and he's got a studio there, and we blocked off 9 days where I went down there at the end of 2022, and we literally tracked everything, all 13 songs in 9 days, from we started with drums to then vocals and then all the guitars and everything else and all the layers. And I left Nashville back to LA with over 1,000 stems of audio recordings that I had to go back and put together. But it was unique in the sense that we had this very compressed amount of time where it was we knew exactly what we needed to do, but the goal was not to get full productions. It was to get all of the basic things, tracks that I could go back home and then start piecing it together.
Start doing the weird stuff.
Start doing the pedal things, exactly. For sure.
Awesome. You mentioned earlier you used to live here. You moved to LA.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to move to LA?
Sure. Yeah. So there was a very specific reason in that I had some interest from a publishing company out there in an album that I was working on at the time, and it kind of became clear that in order to potentially sign with this company and start working with them, I would have to be in Los Angeles and be available to all the different networks and community that they have there, and really too, I think my wife and I had been we were going to be moving to New York actually in 2015, but then some life things happened with some family members getting sick, and we stayed back. And everything in hindsight is always so much clearer, but like it was so perfect that we ended up going to Los Angeles, because like over the last even 5 years that we've been there, it's like so much of the music industry has kind of shifted just to Los Angeles in that way. And so, but that, the publishing deal was definitely like the caveat. But then as we started traveling there and I started working there more too, we really did fall in love with the city, and it truly feels like a second home to us for sure. Minnesota will always be home though. Like we love coming home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is there anything here that you deeply miss?
The winter, as weird as it might sound, it's like I grew up, first 25 years of my life was Minnesota winters, and I love all 4 seasons. Like I love feeling time through all 4 seasons, and in Los Angeles, it's just like sunny all the time, which is, again, it's like I don't want to complain about that, and I'm not complaining about that. But actually, in my song, I Need More Time, it's like the first full song on the album, I say, I need more time, way less sunshine, I miss winter time. And it's like, that couldn't be more true, because now we're home and everyone's like, oh, it just got cold as soon as you got home. And I'm like, that's good. Like, I want to feel these 30-degree temperatures. Like, I want to be cold. I went for a run this morning and my skin was, your skin gets all tight and cold. And I was like, I have missed this so much. So I miss the winter time.
Yeah. Rumor on the block, you have a show tonight. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I have a show tonight at Ice House, which is over on Nicollet. And Chris Koza is opening things up, and he's doing a duo set. And then this great band Beamer, who's actually been on the show before. Yeah, Beamer is the middle act, and then I'm closing things out. Yeah, and music starts at 8, and I'll be on stage around 9:30 tonight.
Awesome. Yeah. How does it feel to be able to come back here through music?
It's like the biggest blessing. And actually, as I was walking over here and back on campus, and I smiled in the middle of the performance of Desert Sun, because the message of that song is like, no matter where we wish we were in any given moment, or no matter how much further ahead we might think we should be or whatever, it's like I truly do believe that the universe has a way of like putting us all where we need to be in our specific moments in time. And like, it's really about, that song's about trusting the universe. And I smiled to myself because I remember being a college age kid here on campus, being kind of filled with a bit of like existential dread of like, how am I going to do this? Like, how am I going to figure these things out? It's like, my head is full of all these dreams and aspirations, as I'm sure everyone in this room is. It's like it's that age where we're trying to imagine, like, how can I actually put pen to paper when it comes to this? And so, like, to be back here to celebrate a new album and to be playing a show and to be able to come here and perform with you guys and hang out with you guys, it just is like, it's the coolest way to be able to, travel around. And because of the gift of music, I don't take it lightly at all.
Yeah, music's pretty awesome.
It's magical. I truly believe it's the most magical thing that humans have ever produced, because it's like we're literally working with vibrations in the air that then we turn into this beautiful product that's invisible, and we can't see it. We can't really make a ton of sense out of it. And I think I don't want to think about making sense of it. I just love that we're able to do it.
Awesome. I have a couple rapid fire questions for you real quick.
Let's do it.
To start, your favorite pedal?
I'll say Fuzz Factory.
Awesome. Your favorite artist right now?
Wilco.
Your favorite artist of all time?
The Beatles.
Favorite song you've made?
Ooh. Honestly, I think Generation After Generation, the one that I said was my favorite on the album, and I think that's one of my favorite songs I've ever made. Yeah.
Who had the biggest inspiration on you musically?
Probably, it's like the Beatles always. I feel like that's like non-starter, but then Jack White.
L.A. or Minnesota?
Minnesota.
All right, to end it, this is a question I am stealing from the host of this show.
Yeah.
It's your dream bill.
Dream bill.
Everything, venue, artists.
Let's say, to keep it like hometown pride here, First Ave main room. In this order: me, Wilco, Jack White.
Awesome.
I would be the happiest.
I would go to that.
Boy, yeah. I'll let you know when it happens. Cool.
All right. I believe that's all the time we have for.
Cool.
I think we're gonna jump back to the booth, play a couple songs, end the set. But thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me,
quite
you
the
guys.
joy.
Thank you everybody here for all the work you do. Thank you.
Radio K, Real College Radio.